Welcome you on the show, 360 Sport on Trust TV. I'm Adeni G. Shafe. We saw there Manchester United against Lyon. Right now, Man United fans are not too happy with Andre Onana. What a moment. Well, that's football. At least they got 2-2. They still hope at the Old Trafford. What will happen there? Well, right now, the blame for the fact that the coach, Amorim, is not trying to put blame on him, trying to say, okay, all of us make mistakes. I make more mistake than Onana. And the second game, that has to do with Chelsea. Chelsea also did well, 3-0. Really, nothing will stop Chelsea from not winning this cup, right? At least they should be able to go for it and win the Conference League there. But right now, let's take a look at the result of games played yesterday across Europe in the Europa League, UEFA Europa League, where we look at all that happened. For Manchester United, they played 2-2 draw against Olympic Lyon. Bodo Glimt of Norway, they were at home and they do it against Lazio. What a match there, defeating Lazio 2-0. Well, the main game is the second one coming up in the city of Rome. Rangers, they play a friendly game against Athletic Club, 0-0. It ended. And we also have Tottenham Hotspur play 1-1 against Eintracht Frankfurt of Germany. Well, for the second leg, it's a battle to finish by the time they all travel back to all the team that came visiting for the second leg. And also in the third tier UEFA competition, that's the one we call Conference League. Results show Chelsea winning 3-0 there. You saw those goals score, and also having Madueke doing so well there. And Celje against Fiorentina ended 2-1 in favor of visiting team. Rapid Vienna, they pipped Djurgården 1-0 in an away game. Expect that Rapid Vienna will do everything possible to make sure they hold the second leg at home. Real Betis, give it up to that team. They've done well against Jagiellona Białystok of Poland, and it ended 2-0. And that's the team that stood out alongside Chelsea in this particular UEFA Conference League quarter-final result that we just have to showcase there. Well, a brief one that we just brought to you in the UEFA Europa Cup and also UEFA Conference League, second and third tier of UEFA competition. From there, let's travel straight down to Rabat, Morocco, where our own team, the Kingsmen, the one they call Rivers Upas, they did well. They were able to win their game, the game they play against FCS Rabat. That's the second time they are meeting them in the Kalahari Conference of the Basketball African League, and they won that game 79-71. Give kudos to the man, the Rivers Hoopers. They did so well. Winning that game, you have to give it to Marcot Akio, who actually stood out 17 bounce I actually did there, and he stood out, and really you have to give kudos to him for what he did. 17 points, I beg your pardon, and you have 8 rebounds and 3 assists for the man called Madut Alec, who actually did well there for Rivers Upat. And right now they are celebrating. They've joined Al Ittihad of Egypt to make it so they play off. Good one for them. They played 3 games. They won 2. They lost 1. They lost against Al Ittihad. They did well against Stade Malien and also FCS Rabat. And this is the second time they are meeting, and they did well. Congrats to Coach Ogo Odaudu and the entire team of Rivers Upas right now doing so well over there in Rabat, Morocco. Talking about basketball there. Well, right now, still talking about basketball, but this time around we go on a short break. By the time we return, we focus on development of basketball across Nigeria, looking at basketball development in Nigeria. We'll be right back after this timeout. Welcome back from that particular show of basketball in Nigeria. Always good to promote our own. You look at those teams there, Nigerian Customs. You talk about Kano Pillars, Kwara Falcons. These are teams we have. We also have for men and also for women. And from there, we pick our best to represent us when it comes to Nigerian Premier Basketball League. They also have DE Tigers, DE Tigress, and they are doing well, especially DE Tigress, dominating Africa. But right now, how has it been when it comes to developing basketball in Nigeria? People who are really very, very desirable of it are growing to that level that we can call it enviable. So that's why we have in the studio today someone who has been able to at least go around the cities across Nigeria to see how they can propagate basketball development. We have Ibrahim Fabian in the studio with us, who's actually the founder of FGI Arena there. Well, good to have you, Ibrahim. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're talking, our focus is going to be on basketball development. That has to do with your, let me call it, is it team or project or whatever. Anyway, we've seen DE Tigress, we've seen DE Tigers, we've seen so many, we just mentioned Rivers Hoopers before we went on break, and we've seen most of these stars coming from Nigerian basketball, some of them coming from abroad, but we can only develop our basketball looking inward. Grassroots development of basketball. Yeah. And if we are looking into the grassroots development of it, we have to look at those initiatives that make at least our basketball to grow. Now, coming to you, maybe let me start by saying, okay, what's it all about? FGI, when you hear it, it sounds poetic. You know, basketball, music, entertainment, and poem rather, they actually go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So take us through it briefly.
So FGI Fury Arena is a sports platform for sports lovers. Where basketball. Where we are aimed at promoting and showcasing basketball players across the country.
Okay.
We're basically starting with grassroots basketball players, where we're putting out a one-on-one basketball championship across the nation, where we've been to 5 states already, and it's an ongoing tournament that is going on.
Okay.
Where we give players platforms to show their hard work they've put out in basketball practice, and hoping that they get identified and featured in the bigger stage. In a
nutshell, what you are saying is that okay, FGI Fury try to go out there, locate this talent, organize competition, and I've seen that a lot of Nigerians love basketball. Taking a look at this, FGI Fury one-on-one is a platform built for every basketball lover. I love the fact that it's all ages, every gender, both male and female, all across the map of Nigeria. We're not just setting up matchups, we're setting up a new standard. Pressure makes players, that's basketball players, setback for a strategy. That's why I said this is kind of poetic. Every one-on-one is a war of skill, will, and heart. If you don't love poem, you can't understand this. We shine the spotlight on those grind through the deeps. These are basketball words. Stay solid through the struggle, rise without shortcut. This is where work meets will. No excuses, just execution. No hype, just execution. Win or loss. Okay, all in all, every matchup sharpens your skill, your mindset, and you earn respect. Like it is now, when you say one-on-one, that one-on-one sounds like, is it only one player that will be facing one player?
Yes, one player versus one player.
Seriously?
Yes.
Okay, take us through that.
Okay, so it's a gameplay, it's a one-on-one gameplay where we call out for players across the nation, where we have...
Okay, for example now, if you're in Abuja, at that same arena you are playing, a basketball player will come out from here, another will come out, they will face themselves.
All they also have to do is to reach out, and we get them when we have a minimum of 6 players in a location. We have a competition.
Wow.
So we do balloting, double balloting, to make sure they get an even pairing. And when they get to pair, they play to score. We do 11 points knockouts, 5 minutes running time till we get a winner for a round.
This is very interesting.
It's a straight knockout.
Okay, so both of them will play, go for first to 11 points.
Yes.
And then 5 minutes.
Yes.
And then you also have the chance to have pairs whereby you can play themselves equally.
Yes.
Wow. So let's start with, you've gone to some cities across Nigeria?
Yeah, we've been to Abuja, we've been to Jos, we've been to Delta States, we featured in Taraba, and we've also featured in Kano in the previous weekend.
Wow.
And we are looking forward to feature in 7 more states by tomorrow, in Saturday, the 12th of April, where we'll be featuring in Lagos State, we'll be featuring in Mina, we'll be featuring in Kaduna, we'll be featuring in Rivers, Gombe, Kebbi State, and Adamawa State.
Now, when you say tomorrow, it sounded like, are you going to be simultaneously, people are
yes,
there?
Simultaneously, we are working with the coaches.
Okay.
We are working with various coaches across the states, where the coaches take responsibility of the game day there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if you go through all this, there should be something that they are all looking up to.
Yes.
Okay, is that going to be final, or is that going to be just okay? If for example, two players played and one of them actually won the game, of course, are you picking all the winners from all those cities across Nigeria to come to a particular place to play final? At least that should be something that these different locations is actually up to.
Yeah. So at the end of every game day in a location, we identify one champion in that location who will be representing that state and that area for the final. We plan to be having on the 3rd of May in Mina, Niger State. So each of these, from these 12 states, we're having a competition currently. We'll be featuring each of the finalists in the final.
Okay, so it means from the 12 states,
Yes.
12 finalists will emerge.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
12 finalists will emerge and they will meet in Mina, then fight against, play against.
And battle for the national champion.
National champion. So, okay, it means we're going to have the national champion for one-on-one basketball.
Yes.
Okay, I get the idea right now. Okay, for those who love basketball, the dunk and slam sport, we're talking with Ibrahim Fabian, focusing on basketball development in Nigeria. And really, this competition is interesting because you have the chance to represent your state. Imagine if you are very good and they are doing this to make sure they pick the best, and before you know it, I've seen so many competitions turn into world standard competition. And really, it has started like joke across about 5 different states 7 months ago, and from there they go move together and come to Mina, Niger. Why not FCT? But sincerely, it would be nice to have all of them together. Those 12 are playing together, and then we get the best of the best.
Yes.
Now, I'm also looking at, aside this one-on-one, sorry, I saw that you mentioned male and female.
Yes.
Are we going to be having for the female too? The
No, it's an individual game. It's the showcase of your hard work.
Does it mean a lady can play against a guy?
Yes.
And if she wins, she qualifies for the final too?
Yes.
Wow.
We have good ladies with the ball. Yeah.
Okay. So, so far, when it comes to this initiative, to see how they can pick, at least for people to enjoy basketball and see that their dream of achieving, being a basketball star is achieved. Take us through. What actually came, what brought this idea?
Okay. Over the years, I spent most of my time going out to play basketball for leisure and my entertainment and just keep myself busy. So I see how players put in hard work to rounding the courts, trying to build endurance, and I don't see the energy being appreciated or being put out on a platform where they are being appreciated. Yeah, and where people can see them and scout for them. So the interest for the FGI Fury one-on-one hoops championship is such that we would have a platform where these players can be seen on a consistent base. So it's a recurring idea that before the next national championship will occur, these 12 finalists will be placed on a bid for who wants to challenge them. Okay. Wherever the location, you reach out with your interest, we'll make it a big deal and stage the contest between you and, let's say, someone now wants to challenge the finalists in Abuja. That's after the tournament.
Okay.
When we are
after
done,
the tournament.
After the final, and you want to challenge the finalist in Abuja. Oh yeah, he didn't get the best defense. I can defend him better. Okay, you reach out to FGI Fury, we set it up and make it a big deal.
And before you know it, it goes viral.
So if you have a challenge, a challenge can come across the globe actually, because the idea is online and there's no limit to publicity. So someone might say the Nigerian FGI Fury national hoop champion is not good enough. I want to challenge him. So you will just plan It's a locational idea.
Okay, let's assume somebody in Egypt or Cairo.
Yes.
I saw it at, okay, this is the national champion in
Nigeria.
I want to challenge him.
I want to challenge him.
Oh my goodness.
We can make it a big deal.
I like that. Anyway, when it comes to all this together, you said you were also a basketballer.
Yeah.
Do you play for a club or just for fun?
I play for fun, my usual.
Okay, let's digress a bit. Let's talk national development of this particular sport. We know that basketball in Nigeria, a lot of talent, both men, women, boys, girls, from the young age, and we've been able to at least see a lot of talented players.
Yeah.
Those have been taken abroad, like Akeem Olajuwon, became NBA star, played for America and all that. We've seen so many stars from Nigeria who have played for different clubs in Europe and America, both for women and for men. And what can you say so far? Because it seems now it's only the foreigners that are really having the chance to play in our when it comes to national team. It's not as if we don't have, but it's very rare that you see a home-based basketballer now getting to at least that maybe national team. D Tigers, you must be exceptionally good. It's either they bring them from US or to some extent. Is it that our basketball is not really too good that we can get a national player from the home scene?
So such is part of what spiked the interest of this initiative, where our players' efforts are being ignored and their hard work are also being ignored. So this platform is aimed at giving these players the opportunity to showcase themselves to their satisfaction, because it's a one-on-one. Nobody's substituting you, nobody's calling you out, nobody's correcting you. It's up to you to execute the game as you can. So now, talking about inviting players, foreign players, to come and play for the national team, where we have amazing talents in the grassroots, in the basketball world, in the grassroots of Nigeria. I've witnessed players. I've seen good basketball players with the rhythm of the ball. I wish to call out the NBFF to look closely at home. We should emulate the idea that state charity begins at home and see how we could love our own and give them the opportunity. They are hungry, and I am sure if they are given the platform to give their best, they can try. And it's all passion.
It's all about passion there. So for at least develop Nigerian basketball, as they are very talented, strong, and very focused. And now if you look at it, our league not always be in existence is also another problem. Because if the league is always on, I know that to some extent the women's league is at least still a bit, but for the men's league, it seems it's a bit sketchy. In the Nigerian scene, let's talk about Nigerian club side. Gombe Bulls, Kwara Falcons, Kano Pillars, Nigerian Customs, a lot of clubs, Rivers Hoopers, Hoops and Reeds, and a lot of teams like that. Which of the team in Nigeria that you can claim to be your team?
Okay.
When it comes to basketball.
I'm a homeboy.
So Niger State.
Niger Porters.
So you want to go for Niger Porters?
I would support them. The players are made up of I play with them back at home. So they are made up of good hoopers I know, I'm familiar with.
That's in Mina, right?
Yes, in Mina. So I would support Niger Porters any day, anytime. However, there are a lot of competitions which influence the decision of the coaches or the team that scouts for these players to make up a team. So, interest differs, and it depends on what spikes their interest to pick a player. Basketball is not all about the rhythm, the game. We look at the attitude. We look at your school of thought, or your idea. So I feel they should look at the players closely with more interest to wanting to feature the homeboys.
Okay.
And be tolerant to character at some point, because the generation now is an outspoken generation, so the character cannot be as you expect, but it's something you can tolerate just to grace home.
Okay, now we've been talking about Nigerians. So let's come back to FGI Fury.
Yeah.
Now, I noticed that hoop is always a common language in basketball. So, so where's the hoop coming from now? I noticed that you mentioned hoop.
Yeah, hoops.
Okay, so now when it comes to this FGI Fury one-on-one, what's the HC standing for what?
It's Hoops Championship.
Hoops Championship. Okay,
Yeah.
Hoops Championship. I know there's no way you play all this championship. That will be injury or somebody maybe falling or something happens. How do you manage that?
Okay, we have officiating rule listed out, and I made sure before any player gets registered, he or she is able to reach out to me with their game video,
okay,
so I can be sure how clinical they can be. And also we have officials, table officials, and ref. We work with the Nigerian ref in various states to get an efficient officiating.
Okay.
So the refs are there when it gets tough. It's the game of sports. It's a contact game. Accidents are inevitable, but as best as we can, we ensure the ref are active to notify technical fouls and all the possible contact fouls through the gameplay.
Okay, good one. At least we're talking about FGI Fury. If you love basketball, this is a one-on-one competition across Nigeria, 12 states. Right now, we'll be competing, although 5 down, 7 to go, and that's why Brian Fabian is here. We always want to promote our own sport, no matter how it is. No, you both can't do it for us. You have to promote our own. We just have to find a way around it. And that's why the young man is here, trying to see how they can also give platforms to young Nigerians, both male and female, to go out there, represent your location or state. At least rep your hood. Maybe your name is going to change to rep your hood soon. But seriously, I think to some extent, it is a good move to at least develop basketball in Nigeria. Let's talk about acceptance. We know that NBBF, Nigeria Basketball Federation, whatever you do, you have to be in sync with them. To some extent now, what has been the rapport between FGI Fury and NBBF, or you're just trying to get into them?
Okay, we're still trying to get a template for the program and the initiative. So we're looking at a situation where we have the templates and we can now approach the NBBF with the... I wasn't expecting the acceptance to be this huge. Sincerely, I give kudos to everyone on my team. They've made this escalate this big, and it's overwhelming. We are making plans and preparations to meet with the bigger administrators in the basketball industry. But for the states we've been featuring, I made sure I liaise with the basketball bodies that are functioning in those locations.
Okay, good one there. Well, we'll be with Brian Fabian at least talk about basketball development, and really one-on-one will be very nice. I wish I can do that too, at least dunk and slam some sport there. Brian Fabian, appreciating you for coming on the show to talk about this.
Thank you.
Okay, that's it on the show, 360 Sport on Trust TV. We've taken you around the world of football, basketball, and also FGI Fury one-on-one. I'm Adeniyi Ajishafe. Sport is always business, as we say, and fitness. Thanks for watching.